Hello. Hi, everybody. We are live. I'm Richert Belul, author of Say It Now. And I'm here with my fellow Mango author, Debra Eckerling, who is author of Your Goal Guide and also founder of now do you say the DEB method or the DEB?
The DEB method.
The DEB method, which I'm excited to hear more about. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Any opportunity, first of all, to chat with a cool person, but also to talk about the importance of goals because, you have to be working towards something, right? Especially now.
Yeah. Yes. And while I do want to hear about the DEB method, that's exactly where I wanted to start. So thank you for that. Like where I wanted to start is what jumped out at me in sort of like in neon when I was reading your wonderful book was when you said, it's really important to have something that makes us happy that we're planning for. Right?
Yes.
So, and when I saw that, I thought, especially right now. And so can you talk about that a little bit, about in these difficult times, what is the role of setting goals?
Well, I think, and I'm so glad you brought that up because who knew? My book came out in January that everybody would need it now.
I know.
Ridiculous. And it's sort of like everybody's life is hitting pause, but not really. We need to look at it as the opportunity that it is. And I know everybody, opportunity, the world's in crisis. Yes, the world is in crisis. And because of that, it's an opportunity. So maybe your work changed, maybe it didn't. Maybe something's going on in your personal life, maybe everything's the same. It doesn't matter. To get through now, we have to think about the future and what we can work on now that's there for us during this time and beyond. So,
sorry,
right?
Let me pause you for a moment because what you just said, right? What you just said, so important that even though we are in the middle of this crisis and our hearts are going out to everyone, right? No matter what they're going through. And there's so many levels and layers of what people are suffering with. But even in the midst of that we have to focus now on our future. Is that right?
Yes, because it's going to be there, right?
Yes.
But the world as we know it's not going to be the same. We're fortunate because we live in the age of technology and we can communicate and we may be isolated, but we're not isolated.
Yes.
And so the reason I wrote the book in a major way is because change happens, whether it's your choice or it happens to you. And when that change happens, what do? You need to think about what you want and how to get it and make a plan. So my book is all about, the first half is the DEB method, which I know we'll talk about, but it's all about figuring out what you want and how to get it. It's all about seeing the life you want. So instead of maybe seeing the life you want in like the wistful way that I think my book starts with, it's about, okay, what is my life going to look like when this crisis is over? And what can I do now, even if it's a little bit a day, to contribute to that? And another point is, and I talk about Goaltopia. I made up a word because a word did not exist to express it. Goaltopia is the life that you want. And you can still have the life you want. It's going to look different for everybody, not just you. And even if your goals aren't these lofty things, maybe it's just a little thing, like you want to learn something, you want to create something. If you can find something that brings you joy, that will bring you a little bit of happy now, it's going to seep into every part of your life and it's going to make this difficult time that much easier.
Debra, hallelujah. Yes.
And as someone who always practices everything I say, I, of course, started a new project.
You did? What do you do? What's your project?
Well, I'm starting a new podcast. It's called Change Happens. Because by choice or by circumstance, change happens. Yes. It's going to be video and audio, and it's conversations with people who face change embraced it and thrived.
Wow.
So that's what we need. We need motivation. We need to look at what other people are doing or have done and say, that's kind of me. What can I take from this moving forward? So I'm very excited about that.
Yes. And, I really want to underscore something that you said, which is that it's going to look different for everyone. And I feel like it's really important right now because there's a lot going on out there in the world of write your book now, start your podcast, start your new, business, which is great. And that might be exactly the thing for some people. But like you just said, for other people, a lot of people are coping. They have their kids at home. They've lost their jobs. And for other people, it might look very different, but there's still, I think, a really important place for intentions and goals right now.
There's it's like, that's all there is right now. I mean, there's more, but what can you do now? You could think about your future. You could think about what you want and work towards it. And it could be a half an hour a week. I know that's really low. It could be 15 minutes a day, every other day. Whatever it looks like for you, figure it out. Maybe you want to learn to, what did I hear today? Someone said at the end of this, there are going to be a lot of people who've learned to cook.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of people who've learned a new skill, a different language, whatever it is, that thing that you said, oh, I've always wanted to learn that, you can do that. But here's something else. You don't have to do it yet. You can spend a week or two just kind of getting used to this new life that you're living and think about what it is. It's not, we don't know how long this is going to last, but it's going to last. So the first couple weeks, I figured after 2 weeks, everybody, because I'm in LA.
Yeah.
So I think we got mandatory last week, but before it was mandatory, I was like, you know what? I work from home. There's nowhere I need to really be. I'd rather be safe.
Right.
So I was safe before they told us to. And so I thought after 2 weeks, okay, it's going to be easier, the adjustment. I'm still adjusting. Everybody is still adjusting. If you need another week or two to adjust, fine. The other thing, and this is part of my process that I'm gonna pull out, is journaling. Because journaling not only helps you pinpoint what you want to work on, it's so important for now, because if you're feeling stress and anxiety and sadness and anger and fear, whatever, if you write it down, it gets it out of your body. Yes. And you can look at it and you'll be better able to cope.
Yes. Is this a good time to talk about what DEB means?
I would love so much to tell you.
It seems like I'm feeling as if that might be a helpful part of this first process for people, right?
Well, it's really, and when I used the Deb method to create the Deb method. So I'm all about the meta. And
that's very meta.
Well, I've been doing this for years. I've had goal setting groups for years. I've been doing coaching and webinars and whatever. And about 2 years ago, I was faced with an opportunity to, one of my main clients went away, or my main client was going away, and said, okay, this is an omen for me to go all in on my goal setting. And part of that was rebranding myself, which is why I created the Deb method. So the other thing that most goal setting coaches, books, etc., is they tell you how to reach your goals, but they don't help you figure out what those goals are.
Yeah.
And my book does that, because you can't get where you want unless you know where that is. And there are so many options. And again, lots of extra time to give it the thought it deserves, right? So D stands for, so these are the 3 steps.
Okay.
That anybody can really take, and it's the first half of my book, to really hone in on where you want to go, what that means. So D stands for determine your mission. And there are 5 steps in each of these phases, and that's all about visualize, write your current bio, write your future bio. Then the key one is your mission statement. What is your expertise? What do you have to offer? Why? And who it's going to help. That's what the mission, it's not, when your mission is not about you, it's so much more powerful. It will help you, of course, obviously, but you're helping others. I think one of us froze. Are you back?
Deb?
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. We got disconnected for a sec. Here's what I heard. Can you go back? Because I heard you were just starting to list all the things within the D.
Okay, I'll go back. So D is determine your mission. So it starts with visualizing. What is the life that you want? What does that look like? Then you write your current bio, look at where you're at now, and then your future bio.
Yes.
What is the you 6 months, a year, 5 years from now going to look like?
Yeah.
And then you create, oh, I think we lost you again.
Yeah, I just think the internet is a little bit overloaded. There's a lot of Facebook Lives.
A little.
Seriously.
You mean completely.
So, I know Facebook has been, kind of crushed right now. So, but I think we're okay. Oh, look, hi, I just saw that Rachel joined us. I hope I'm saying it right. It might be Rochelle. Do you know Rochelle, Rachel?
I do not.
Oh, she's another.
But she agrees with me that determining your mission is so important. So that's good.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you here. So yeah, I think I love this. I love this idea of really visualizing, especially let's go back to where we are in these uncertain times. One thing that we can do for ourselves is really do that visualizing that you're talking about who we are and who we want to be. Even, I mean, you can tell me more what you think about this, but I've been talking to a lot of people about even who do we want to be during this time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's all about, and again, I wrote this book before the world changed. It's the idealistic version of your life. When you see your perfect life, what does that look like?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you creating? Where are you working? Or maybe your goaltopia is work-life balance. Everybody is now a little bit forced into it, right?
Right.
And so it's that big picture. When I see the me I'm working towards, who is that? So it starts with, and it kind of also goes back to what are the things that you used to love that you never have time for? What were you into when you were a kid? What sort of activities? Oh, one day I will learn that, or one day I want to be a master this or master that, or I've overloaded on cooking shows. I could be that master chef. Anything is possible. So think about what's possible for you and what the you is going to be doing, thinking, feeling.
That's beautiful. That is so beautiful. Yeah. Go on. Are we on E?
Okay, wait. No, we haven't finished D, but I'll because we've been back and forth. So it's figure out your goaltopia, and then current bio, future bio, figure out your mission statement, something that you create that will make you happy, motivate you, but will also help others. And then you shorten it into a motto. So you kind of have like your eye on the prize, this little motivating slogan. And my motto is goal setting simplified. So anything that I create has that idea in mind. Okay, so then that's the D. And then E is explore your options. So you know who you are, you know where you want to go, right? And you've got a mission and a catchy motto that embodies you. And then this section is the research phase. So you do some journaling, you look at what are the key thoughts that come out of that. And then it's a matter of researching the ones that stand out for you.
Yeah. I love how this is so great because I think we're getting a sense of who you are and how wonderfully methodical this is. And also people may not know this if they haven't yet read your book, but also you bring in that wonderful metaphor of the road trip, right? And I'm just really enjoying hearing you talk about this because I feel like I'm being, right? I feel like we got in the car and you know where we're going, right?
Well, yes. So it's all about, let's say you want to do a job change. Let's say you lost your job and you're thinking, okay, I can really take some time to up my skill levels. And maybe when I go looking for a job again, it's something else. So in the explore your options phase, it's about, okay, I mentioned journaling before. In the book, I call it directed journaling. So you're basically doing word sprints and based on the answer to a question. What do I want? What does this look like? And the idea is to do this journaling several times. I recommend 15 minutes. And then after you've done it a few times, then you can read your journal entries. So while you're doing your brainstorms, don't go back.
Ooh, I like that.
And then you can look at them and be very methodical. It's a word I like, and you just used it, so here we go. But go through your journal entries and look at, what did I mention a lot? Where do my interests really lie? So it's all about looking at the different things. And I love the road trip metaphor, but let's say you want to be a known expert, which in the book I say you want to go to the big city. There are so many big cities. So this exploration, this research phase will help you hone in. Do I want to write a book? Do I want to start a blog? Do I want to write a podcast? Do I want to start doing virtual events, which is great for now, right? So it's all about doing the research to pick the right destination. And so at the end of E, you get to B, which is brainstorm your path. So you take the destination you chose, whether it's would-be author or job change or build your business or marketing plan or have better balance, and then brainstorm it. You want to write down. So that's the B, is all about writing out all your goals, all your benchmarks, all your action items. And that way, when you, again, put everything on the page, then you can organize it into personal and professional goals. You're actually planning. This is the road trip. Where are you going?
Wow.
What goals to accomplish along the way? All the little pieces of it together.
It's so great. And first of all, I want to say, I love that Rochelle is saying, I like the idea of not going back, me too. Like, that was so wonderful to do all of that creative writing and then review it. But I was going to say, like, I love the idea of the road trip because there's this idea that we could all just get in our cars and start driving. And we just be driving around and around and around and around and not getting anywhere, wasting all kinds of gas. Right? But what you're talking about, it's so, to me, I just find it so great. It's like I could visualize, like, oh, if I know where I want to go, and I actually Deb method it, so that before I get in the car, I know I'm supposed to take 80 over the bridge, right? It's there for me to follow. Not that there won't be, right?
Things that I do talk about day trips. They happen, and they should be embraced because you don't know. Sometimes, and that's why the motto is so important, the mission statement and the motto, because as you're working toward your destination, you're going to get distractions, and some of them you want.
I love that.
But if you look at your motto and say, okay, is this in alignment with what I want to accomplish? And if it's yes, great. If it's a no, then you have to ask yourself, is it going to be fun? Is it going to enrich me as a person? Is it okay? And if the answer is yes, great. And if it's no, then you really have to rethink that decision and say, okay, will it serve me? And if it doesn't, fine. You'll visit a shop in the next town.
Wow, Debra, I just want to say, I love what you're saying right there because, well, maybe you do know, but my world is about celebration and about process. And I'm really interested in not just it being like I want to get to this goal. How do I get there no matter what? You know, we ruin our health, we lose our relationships. Like, that doesn't interest me. I'm interested in what you're talking about, which is a fun trip. Like, the whole trip is great, right?
It should be.
Right.
That's why you're spending all this time. You want to pinpoint something that, and again, it could be maybe you want to learn how to cook, and that is where you want to be at the end of the sheltering at home phase.
Right.
Maybe you want to learn a language. Maybe you want to create something to help others to get through this better.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it could be very small, it could be very big, it could be for you, it could be for others. It could be for your family, it could be for your friends.
Yeah.
What will make you happy and motivate others, help others during this time?
Lovely. Oh my gosh, that's so great. Yeah. And again, I just want to, I love it. Rochelle saying the journey. Yeah. I really want to underscore how profound it is that you wrote this book with, you know, no idea what was going to be coming up for us all as a world. And that you also really had that, the beautiful, innovative look at, you know, it's not just about like, okay, here, how to, you know, follow your goals, but this whole process leading up to it that is so necessary, because it's true. You know, I'm a coach too, and I talk to a lot of people about their lives and their future selves. And a lot of times people don't know, you know, it's not always sort of just like right there for people. And so I really appreciate that you're offering this helpful journey. It's like you're right there, you know, coaching them along.
Well, I want everybody to succeed. I know
Oh,
it's a really, and
wow.
you're like this too, right?
Yes.
Why not be happy? You know, even if it's just a little part of your life is happy, it's gonna improve everything.
Yeah.
And the big challenge people have is they either underthink their goals or they overthink their goals. They do not plan. And that's exactly what this book is designed to be, is a coach in a book. I'm cheerleading you as you figure out your life, because I want it for you as much as you do.
Yeah. So, Debra, we just have a few more minutes. And one thing that I'm wondering, I'm hoping that people are going to get your book, right? So it's available easily on Amazon still right now.
Right?
So I'm hoping people are going to get your book. It may take a little longer to get it. Let's
Or
say,
you can get the ebook and have it like that, you know?
oh, very good point. Okay. So yeah, so people could get the ebook, just download it immediately. But if people are wanting to read your book, but they don't have it in their hands yet, what is something someone could do right now after they watch this to simply get started in turning their attention toward this?
The journaling.
Yeah. Yes.
Set the directed journaling appointments, and set appointments and put them in your calendar. And then, because the other thing that's going to get you through is if you have as normal schedule as you can.
Yeah.
So set over this week, set like 3 to 5 15-minute appointments every day, every other day. And when your alarm goes off, say, okay, I've got an appointment. You have to keep your appointments with yourself. They're just as, if not more important than the appointments you have with other people. And just brainstorm. What do I want? What does that look like? Those are your only questions. And don't look at them. And then by the time the book gets there,
I love this.
you've already had a head start. And I think I say this at the beginning: if you're having trouble, read chapter 6 and then go back.
Oh,
because chapter 6 is the journaling chapter.
good. You know, and I'm so grateful to you, because that is something really simple. And I know in my own life that there is a momentum that happens simply when I turn my attention to something. All of a sudden, everything seems to speak to that particular conversation that's going on. And so I have the feeling that by starting off, as you're suggesting, with this journaling practice, I don't know, people might start having more of those kinds of conversations with people they love, or they might find books that support things. I think life does come in and join the conversation with us.
Well, it does. And a big part of that research, that explore your options phase, is about reaching out to your connections and your connectors. See who you know who does the thing that you're interested in learning more about. or see who you know who knows everybody, because we all have those friends, right?
Yes.
And learn a little bit more. If you put in the time now, if you do the research, if you really think through it, you're going to be much more successful, and you're going to be more motivated because you're going to have a lot of wins along the way. It's all about setting you up for success.
Yeah. And the other thing is that I've said probably at least 1,000 times over the last week, but when we take the time, even if it's just those journaling moments, to focus on something positive and healthy, it helps our immune system. Being happy, getting outside of the stress of this crisis, I think is really one of the things that we can do for our own health. And we need to stay healthy for ourselves and others. And so I really feel like I can imagine that journaling process is also a little bit of a respite.
It should be a lot of a respite.
Okay. I love that.
Because let's say there are a lot of people in close quarters with people they love.
Yes.
And you gotta keep everything on a nice, even keel, because we don't know how long it's going to be. But maybe start a separate journal that's just your anxiety and frustrations. And if it's out of your head, you don't need to express it with your actual words. It's still out of your body. And it's a much safer way when you're coexisting with people in close quarters.
Yes.
Right?
Thank you. Yes.
So,
Debra, I can't believe it. Our time has gone so quickly. I have
so quickly
really enjoyed this chance to connect with you, and I knew this was going to be really helpful for people. Is there anything that you want to leave us with? Anything, last words or, encouragements?
Wow, I have so many. What's my favorite? This is the thing that I always say is you really can you can't have everything, but you can have a lot of things. The life that you want maybe isn't exactly the life that you planned, but it can still be good. Take what's happening now as an opportunity to really think about what you want, what that looks like, and what you can do in little increments of time to create it. It's really going to be, you won't know. It will be so helpful. And you're really, I did 15 minutes every other day on this. And at the end, look what I created. You don't know, little bits. So see, I told you I have lots of words of wisdom.
I love that though. I think that's the perfect thing to end on, because it's like really that encouragement that a small amount of time on a consistent basis, it's that compound effect. And I think you've just said that so beautifully. I really want to encourage people to get your book, and we'll make sure that we post the link below this Facebook Live so people can easily have it. Thank you, Debra. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Sherry. This has been absolutely wonderful for me. And the other, I'm gonna add an addendum. Connect with me. If you're watching this video, find me on LinkedIn, connect with me on Facebook, join. I've got a group for Write On Online and also for your goal guide for people to ask questions as they're working their way through the book. And just say hi, because it's all about building that community. We're all in this together. We might not be all in the same room, but we can still help each other out.
Yes. And maybe you'll post those links again in the comments below this. That would be great.
Yes, I will post all of my links, and you can find me at the Deb Method everywhere as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I want to just offer a huge thank you to Mango Publishing. We love you. We
do love you, Mango. Mango's the best.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.